Welcome to the MQ-9 Reaper data card video. For 20 years, this platform defined what American armed drone warfare looked like. It hunted terrorists in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia, Yemen, Libya, Syria, and Iraq. It killed Qasem Soleimani. It killed al-Baghdadi's courier network. It provided the persistent overhead ISR that sustained the entire global counterterrorism campaign. 300-plus aircraft maintaining 60 continuous global patrols simultaneously. If you have seen a news story about a drone strike in the last 2 decades, the platform in the story was almost certainly this one. And now it is being retired. The production line closed in 2025. The Air Force is drawing the fleet down from 338 aircraft to a target of 140 by 2035. The platform that defined an era of warfare is being phased out, not because it failed, but because the threat environment it was built for no longer exists. The MQ-9 Reaper was designed for permissive airspace. The world stopped offering permissive airspace. That is the story of this data card. The MQ-9 is built by General Atomics Aeronautical Systems. First flight of the predecessor concept was in 2001. The Reaper designation came later as the platform evolved from the MQ-1 Predator, which proved drones could fight, into a genuine hunter-killer with vastly greater payload, speed, and altitude capability. The Predator had 115 horsepower and could carry 204 kilograms. The Reaper has 900 horsepower, carries up to 1,700 kilograms of payload, flies nearly twice as fast, and reaches altitudes twice as high. The U.S. Air Force retired all Predators in 2018 and went all in on the Reaper. That decision looked correct for nearly a decade. Let's look at the specifications. Wingspan 20 meters. Length 11 meters. Maximum takeoff weight 4,760 kilograms. The Honeywell TPE 331-10 turboprop engine produces 900 shaft horsepower. Maximum speed approximately 482 km per hour. Cruise speed approximately 370 km per hour. Maximum altitude 15,240 meters, 50,000 feet. Endurance over 27 hours. Range 1,850 kilometers. That altitude and endurance combination is the entire operational concept. The Reaper flies above the engagement ceiling of most man-portable air defense systems and short-range air defense at 50,000 feet. It loiters for 27 hours, providing continuous ISR coverage over a target area. It carries precision-guided munitions that can be fired from that altitude with minimal collateral damage. And it does all of this with zero risk to an aircrew. The pilots and sensor operators sit in ground control stations in the continental United States, Nevada primarily, flying combat missions in real time via satellite link. The satellite link is a critical distinction from the TB2 we covered in the last video. The TB2 uses line-of-sight C-band data link, maximum 150 kilometers from the ground control station. The Reaper uses satellite communications for over-the-horizon control. A Reaper launched from Kandahar, Afghanistan can be flown by a crew at Creech Air Force Base in Nevada. That global reach changed the entire geography of counterterrorism operations. You did not need to put people in the combat theater to conduct combat operations. That capability sustained the post-9/11 global strike campaign for 2 decades. The weapons load is substantial. 8 AGM-114 Hellfire missiles. GBU-12 Paveway 2 laser-guided bombs. GBU-38 dams. Dual-mode GBU-49 enhanced paveway bombs. The R9X Ninja missile, a Hellfire variant with deployable blades instead of an explosive warhead, designed for single individual targeted killing with zero blast radius. The Reaper also carries the multispectral targeting system, an EO and IR sensor ball with laser designator and laser illuminator that provides the persistent overhead surveillance that made it indispensable to ground commanders throughout the counterterrorism era. Unit cost is $34 million per aircraft and $2024 for the airframe alone. Full system cost including ground control station, satellite link infrastructure, sensor packages, and sustainment runs significantly higher. For context, that is approximately 1/10 the cost of an F-35A, which was precisely the economic argument that made the Reaper so attractive during the counterterrorism era. 10 Reapers for the cost of one fighter jet, providing 10 times the persistent loiter coverage with zero aircrew exposure. Now the countermeasure vulnerability profile, and this is where the Reaper's operational story turns. RF jamming, moderate to high. The satellite data link provides resilience that line-of-sight systems lack, but the link can be degraded. Satellite communications jamming against uplink and downlink frequencies is an emerging capability among near-peer adversaries. Losing the satellite link puts the Reaper into autonomous return-to-home mode. It does not crash, but it loses all weapons employment capability. GPS spoofing, moderate. GPS-dependent navigation throughout. INS backup provides limited resilience. Demonstrated vulnerability in Iran in 2011 when a U.S. RQ-170 Sentinel, a different platform but similar GPS dependency, was apparently spoofed and landed intact in Iranian territory. The Reaper shares that fundamental guidance architecture vulnerability. EMI and EMC attack, low to moderate. Military-grade electronics throughout with significant hardening investment compared to consumer platforms. Not invulnerable but meaningfully more resistant than the commercial-derived systems we have covered in this series. Microwave attack, low to moderate. Same reasoning, military hardening provides meaningful but not absolute protection. Laser-directed energy weapons, moderate. The Reaper is a large, relatively slow-moving platform at medium to high altitude. A sufficiently powerful ground-based laser with good atmospheric conditions could engage it. The altitude provides some protection against current laser CUAS systems which are optimized for low-altitude threats. Kinetic intercept, high vulnerability. This is the Reaper's fatal limitation in contested airspace. 20-meter wingspan. 4,700 kilogram platform. Large radar cross-section. No stealth characteristics. Flies at predictable altitudes and speeds. Any competent surface-to-air missile system with engagement ceiling above 15,000 feet can engage it. The Houthis have proven this point comprehensively. They have shot down at least 15 MQ-9s using Iranian-supplied surface-to-air missiles. A non-state actor with access to relatively unsophisticated SAM systems can kill a $34 million aircraft. That cost-exchange ratio, in the attacker's favor, is precisely why the Air Force is retiring the platform. Cyber attack, moderate. The satellite data links provide attack surface. The ground control station network is a potential target. Historical incidents, including the 2011 computer virus that infected Creech Air Force Base ground control stations, demonstrated real vulnerability in the network layer. Overall vulnerability rating, low in permissive airspace. High in contested airspace. That dual rating captures the entire operational story of this platform. In Afghanistan against the Taliban, who had no air defense, the Reaper was essentially invulnerable and operationally dominant. In Yemen against Houthi forces equipped with Iranian SAMs, it is being shot down regularly. The platform did not change. The threat environment did. Now the convergence argument, and the Reaper sits at a specific position on the spectrum that is worth defining clearly. The MQ-9 is not a cruise missile. It is recoverable. It carries reusable precision-guided munitions rather than being a munition itself. It requires a trained crew of 2+ mission commander to operate, higher skill requirement than almost any other platform in this series. It costs $34 million per airframe. It represents the high end of the recoverable armed UAV category, the platform that made precision strike persistent and global for mid-sized and large military powers. What the Reaper's trajectory tells us about convergence is the direction of travel. The TB2 at $5 million did 80% of what the Reaper does in permissive airspace. The Lucas at $50,000 does the one-way strike mission at a fraction of either cost. The pressure on the Reaper, from above by contested airspace that requires genuine stealth, and from below by cheaper platforms that can absorb losses, is the convergence thesis applied to the American arsenal from the outside. The Reaper is being retired because better answers exist at both ends of the cost spectrum. That is not a failure. That is the market working exactly as the convergence thesis predicts. One final note on the MQ-9B variant, the SkyGuardian and SeaGuardian. This is the export-focused evolution of the Reaper with STANAG 4671 airworthiness certification allowing flight in civilian airspace, VTOL configuration, improved collision avoidance, and in the UK's protector configuration up to 18 Brimstone 3 missiles. India signed a $3.4 billion contract for 31 MQ-9Bs in October 2024, the largest single MQ-9B procurement outside the United States. The platform is ending its U.S. Air Force career while simultaneously beginning new operational lives with allied air forces. That longevity reflects genuine capability at the right price point for mid-tier military powers operating in semi-permissive environments. The full MQ-9 Reaper data card is available at the link in the description. Download it, keep it, and we will see you on the next one.